Well, hello, Art and Pensley family of railroad lines. This is Jeremiah Paranak. I recently interviewed for a position AVP of Bridges and Projects, I think it was, in the Maintenance of Way Department, Engineering Department at the Pensley. And this is a follow-up, not really seeking to change your mind about or reconsider the my candidacy for the position. Just really wanted to share with you this software, this GIS, Geographic Information System software platform that I was hoping to bring with me into the Pensley and help to get integrated into the short line regional railroad industry. This is a powerful, powerful tool. We all use maps every day. We use GIS every day, Geographic Information Systems. And really, what GIS is taking tabular data, anything in a spreadsheet or a database, and that's geographically oriented, and putting it on a map. Okay, so you have data visually consumable on a map, and then you can interact with it for whatever you're doing. If you're trying to find McDonald's, or if you're trying to find a shipper, or if you're trying to find a rail car, whatever the case is, we can, if you had a GPS tracker, you could look at it on this map. Um, Really, where this is useful in the engineering world, my background is, you can set up engineering forms, schemas. You can do surveys, right? What you're seeing here are the crossings from the FRA database, and you can go and here's a table of data for the crossings, and the crossing ID numbers are right here, right? Let's say you were wanted to survey and validate all those, or maybe you wanted to add pictures of all your crossings, something like that. You're able to go out in the field. All this, what you're seeing on the computer screen, can be easily integrated into a tablet, whether Apple or Android, and carried with you into the field. So as you're driving along and you see a crossing, what's that crossing ID number? You can pull it up. You can get the information you need. You can do field survey. You can measure the crossings. You can measure anything: culverts, bridges, you know, switch points, frogs, turnouts. You can measure it all. You can take pictures. You can do inspections. You can set up inspection uh, forms. And so then, as you collect all that data, like let's say we wanted to count the number of culverts, and then we could say, well, we have uh, 380 24-inch corrugated metal pipe culverts, and at various lengths, maybe we've got 5,000 linear feet of corrugated metal pipe culverts. And now you can depreciate that asset or however you do that. I'm not sure how that works in your accounting, but this is a great tool for linear asset management if you're looking to use it for accounting purposes, depreciation purposes, capital project, capital funding, tracking. I'm sure you have systems in place, and this may or may not be able to integrate, but um, it does tie into. So over here, this is the layers. I'll show you around a little bit, but on that point about integrating into systems, these are browsers. These are where you can, this is the browser where you can browse for data. Anywhere from all this stuff that's on your local machine to, PostgreSQL, SAP HANA, Oracle, MS SQL Server, right? And this is not the most up-to-date uh, version of QGIS. So there may be additional plugin connections available. Highly customizable software. So if it's not out of the box ready to be done, you can easily make it tie into whatever you want with some programming effort. But yeah, if you have a database, Oracle in particular, or PostgreSQL, if your financial stuff is there, you can, if you wanted to tie that to the assets, again, if it's geographically oriented, you want to create a map, or if you wanted to edit that data, right? That's kind of where it really becomes useful, is now I don't have to be a database engineer to go in and make an update, right? So if you're doing CWR, and you need to maintain the CWR database of rail added, rail removed, that kind of thing. I know on the big carrier I worked for, you had to go get on the desktop and log into the computer, log into the internet, and fill out a form. this would enable you to do it on the fly in a map-oriented capacity in a fashion like you're working on Google Maps. So getting into this a little bit, this is over here. These are the layers. You can drag these panels around like this. These are the layers, and so I'm gonna turn that off. Those are the crossings. Those are your railroads, and those are the big Class 1 railroads. You know, you can just kind of turn off layers. So we'll turn off the Western roads. I think I got UP way down here for some odd reason. I didn't get it grouped up at the top with the other Class 1. So we'll turn those off. So there we are in the east, the CSX and NS right there. So we can just turn all that off, turn the Pensley on. So like I said, this is like a spreadsheet or a database. Anytime you've got any type of tabular data. So this is the Granada Railroad. If I hit here, this toolbar here is information. Okay, so I want information on that, and here's the tabular data. Okay, so this data set, all those rail lines are from the Bureau of Transportation Statistics. So there's not a whole lot of information, but we could put anything you want in here. You know, we could put rail section, when the rail was laid, when it was TNS, how much it cost, what this, or you can forecast. You can use this for planning work. You can use this for showing work, advertising work, just your own maintenance history. We can build all types of schema to go on top of this. But yeah, this is the data, and this is how you look at it in a feat on the on the feature level. So this is this is the feature data, and we can edit that by clicking this edit button. And let's see. Um, let's see. This should be now. Yeah, now we can edit this, right? So state Mississippi, I can delete that information, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna hit cancel. I don't want to edit it, but that's how you can edit and interact with it. Now, we can also, with this layer selected, we can hit this, which brings up the table. And there are 286 features and 0 selected. So let's change that. Let's go ahead and select one. All right, now I've got one selected, or I can select a bunch. And I can bring that selection to the top, and I can look at my data, right? Just whatever kind of information that you want to see, you can look at it if you're editing your data or what have you. So again, you're able to we'll close this out, and we'll go into our crossing data. Same thing, we'll just highlight those, and we'll say, give me the table. I like this button. You click this button, and selected items come to the top. So we have 35 items selected. There are 850 crossings on all of the Pensley railroads. Something close to that. That's probably not exactly right. That was just a real quick and dirty where I took the national crossing database and just did a little selection by intersection with your roads and extracted those. But here's the Amtrak routes, state boundaries, if you want county boundaries, just anything that you want to customize with this kind of thing. So it's a table. So anytime you have a spreadsheet or a database that is geographically oriented, this gives you a new interface. This gives you a more intuitive Google Maps type of interface. So this tool here lets you identify the feature, and this is a table. This is a measure. You can measure lines, stuff like that. So all right, so that's a little analysis attributes toolbar. So we'll put that back up there. We'll just dock that. This is a selection toolbar. So I'm gonna go here, and you can select by just an arrow, or you can do a polygon or a freehand or by a radius. Okay, sometimes that's useful. You can by expression or by value. So if we go into value here, let's just do railroad and type NS. Okay, so select features. Well, there's 7 features that are on the NS. Well, where are they exactly? I can't see them. Well, I say flash. Oh, there's some. What if see that flash down there in Florida? Was that around Lake City somewhere? Um, Flash, all right. But there are 7. So if I say zoom to features, so there's some up here too. There's some up in the Camp Chase Railroad, and there's some up here in the Chesapeake and Indiana Railroad, okay? So that gives you just interact. So like your new employee, if you have this database or any of your employees, you put on a tablet, put it on their computer, and their institutional knowledge is plugged in, and they can learn just like that about the, 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 the physical plant. So we're selecting those features. Again, we could edit those features. We can select by geography, by location, proximity to other features. So I want to turn, one thing I will say real quick, if we turn this onto edit mode, we can add features, okay? And so now we're filling out our form. So again, if this were a switch inspection, or if this were a bridge inspection, a culvert inspection, and this is not real pretty, we can make this form look a lot better, a lot more user friendly, and a lot more intuitive. Um, so let's see, we'll turn that edit layer off, we'll turn that off. I do want to show you that it can also consume LiDAR. So if you see, it's hard to, let me just zoom to that layer. Dock this selection tool, put that back here. Okay, now this is LiDAR, okay, and I don't think I have the profile tool. Let's see. I don't have the profile tool up, else I'd show you. I'm not going to try to do that on the fly. Oh, I'm tempted to, because we can make a profile. We can get the profile of the LiDAR. So, but let me just LiDAR is light detection and ranging, and it's like sonar. It gives you a distance, so they fly over the Earth and they shine a light on the Earth, and then that light gives back to the camera, and the time lapse enables them to figure out the distance. And so it's a survey. It gives you the topography of the Earth. So let's see, if maybe if I do my plugins toolbar. Terrain profile. Okay, so if I do this, cross this LiDAR, let's see if I can get this to work, guys. This is just kind of, okay, so now I need to add a layer. Boom, there you go. So now I started on the right, so I'm a little backwards here, but you see that? So this is the profile across that LiDAR, okay? Not that that would be terribly helpful, but this does get into being useful when you're doing drainage calculations. Sometimes you want to bring in that LiDAR, or maybe you want to see how deep the fill is. If you invest in having your railroad scanned with LiDAR, okay, we can bring that in here, and it just again gives you the ability to consume that in the environment and context of everything else. So what I was doing with this, just as information, give you a use case as a rail planner. I'm looking at, this is I-20 from Atlanta to Meridian, and I said, hey, what would happen? What's the profile and alignment of I-20 as compared to DNS? Okay, so right now a passenger train runs along DNS between Atlanta and Meridian on down to New Orleans, and you can see, I'm gonna just kind of turn that on and off. You can see how more direct the interstate is, and it's about 25 miles more direct. So when you think about railway capacity of two Amtrak trains on the track, single track railroad, you think about the curvature, so that Amtrak's moving kind of slow. It's just a real gainer if we could get a piece of railroad put down the middle of I-20 across the state of Alabama, and it would really improve Norfolk Southern's capacity and the performance of Amtrak. It would also really support the railway supply industry. But anyway, that's kind of what I was doing with that. So I've digressed way too much, but that's the LiDAR. That's again publicly available information that I got from the USGS. You can even see the interstate in there. Use that profile tool one more time. Let's see if it add layer. So let's see if it, let's see, whenever you approach the interstate, oh, it's like it's in a cut section. It's in a cut section. See that? Okay. All right. Too much on that, but it's really cool, the capability, and it's really that easy to use. Just a little bit of training. No cost for anything you're seeing on my screen. There's no cost at all. So, okay, we got LiDAR, vector files, which are just, again, like spreadsheets. Um, let's see. This is Google Street View. Is that working? I'm not sure if that's working right now. Because yeah, I don't have the most current up-to-date QGIS. So I need to update to QGIS 3.36. Yeah, so that's not gonna work. Oh, maybe it did work. Oh, nice. Okay, so look, it integrates into so that's kind of nice. Anywhere you're at, you can sort of um, jump around. So like, let's just go here to one of your crossings and let's just see. Um, let's see where you cross 51. Boom. There's your railroad. Okay, so this is, and again, like no cost. There's been no cost. So we got a wire crossing there. It's been at no cost. Looks like that could be, if that's not river bottom, that might be a good industrial development site right there. Um, so this is another capability that we've got on this thing. Let's see, what else was it I wanted to share? This toolbar is to make this to make it to integrate it into your tablet. It can also be developed onto a cloud platform so it can sync across the enterprise. But again, everything you see is no cost. It's just the cost of my time in learning this stuff. So training, and then you'd have cost integrating it and developing it, but the software and the data is no cost. Here is GIS coordinates tools. So we'll just click here and okay, so now we've copied those coordinates to the clipboard. So let's go out to California or something over here. Okay, and then we'll just paste that into here and then we'll hit enter and boom, it shows you where the coordinates are. So this is kind of nice. This is similar to showing an external map to the street maps, but this takes you to OpenStreetMaps. So um, this is zoom to a coordinates. You can enter the lat long. Okay, so lots and lots of capabilities here. This is just like a highly customizable um, Google Maps, Apple Maps, whatever your favorite mapping program is. Um, show all items. So here's all the railroads. We'll turn the Amtrak off. So right now we're really rendering a lot of data with all the counties in the country and all the rail lines in the country being shown. It's just rendering a tremendous amount of data and it's not choking. I do have a fairly decent computer here, but the software is very robust. Okay, it's not having to send licensing credentials and it's all local. It's on my local machine, so it's just very simple, very robust, just like you're running a Word doc processing or an Excel doc processor. It's very, very simple. So, guys, I appreciate the opportunity again to have interviewed, but really this is more so about the opportunity to get in front of you with this software. I love the industry. I'm a GIS amateur analyst and developer. Um, an amateur GIS analyst and developer, and passionate railroader. Want to see my industry flourish and do better. I feel like this is a low cost, hard hitting asset to boots on the ground, project managers from the office, and maybe and certainly even executive level. You can do accounting functions, linear asset management. Just really intuitive way to engage with your data and your railroad. One other item I wanted to put on here was you can put notes here. So um, you can personalize this here. And so as people have this on their computer, they're able to really create their own personalized notes. And that can be linked to a layer. So I'll just link it to the names layer. And you can turn it on and off like that. So well, Pensley, listen, thank you again for your time. If this interests you, go to QGIS.com, download the software. You'll probably ask your IT people, and they'll say, no, we need Esri. If you've already bought Esri, your GIS people are probably not. They're going to say, they don't use it, but it's no cost. It's a really great tool, and if this interests you, I'd love to chat more with you about how to get it integrated into your process and into your railroad. And I really think it's got a lot of value for the industry on the whole. So, okay, Pensley, thanks for watching.